Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited. Balloon flies to nearly 32,000 feet over Kentucky. Vietnam fighter pilot James White finally comes home. And B-1B fleet resumes flight operations. Hello, I'm Laura Hutson. It's June 22nd, and this is Airborne Unlimited. After more than 6 months of preparation, pilot Bill Smith of Louisville, Kentucky, completed a flight to nearly 32,000 feet on Saturday, June 16th. According to a Balloon Federation of America Facebook post, Bill flew his brand new Lindstrom 105 named Phantom during a perfectly executed high-altitude flight. The weather conditions were perfect. There wasn't a cloud in the sky, and Bill actually covered more vertical distance than he did horizontally, landing less than 7 miles from where he took off. For this flight, Bill was equipped with a transponder, specially modified burners, oxygen, and cold weather gear, as the ambient air was well below zero when he reached his maximum altitude. After the break, Surfair defaults on payments.
The dream is real, a truly affordable personal jet aircraft. The Subsonics Personal Jet Kit is priced at only $42,000. Kit plus engine is still under $100K. Add instruments, upholstery, and paint and you're flying. It's time to put your money where your bucket list is. Learn more at sonicsaircraft.com.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, Airborne Unmanned, the AMA Drone Report, our website or podcast, just email to news-by@aero-news.net. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. Private aviation operator Encompass Aviation has filed a lawsuit against financially distressed membership-based charter broker Surfair Incorporated, for whom Encompass has been acting as primary California operator since May 2017. The lawsuit filed in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York asked the court to enforce the charter services obligations to Encompass as specified in several operating agreements signed by the two companies last year, and also to enforce subsequent payment agreements stipulated to in the interim. Chicago Aviation Chief Ginger Evans has resigned after just 3 years on the job. Her last day will be August 1st. Evans helped implement a runway rotation plan to distribute jet noise around the region. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel said Evans also negotiated an historic $8.7 billion deal to modernize O'Hare Airport, open 2 new runways, and the first new gates in 25 years. Officials did not give a reason for her resignation. The FAA is accepting applications through June 26 from people interested in becoming air traffic controllers at the New York Terminal Radar Approach Control Facility. The announcement is open to applicants who live within a 50-mile radius of Westbury. They must be U.S. citizens, speak English clearly, and be no older than 30 years of age. Applicants must have a combination of 3 years of education and/or work experience. They must also pass a medical examination, security investigation, and FAA air traffic pre-employment test. American Airlines is planning to reduce the number of executives working for the company as it wraps up its integration of U.S. Airways. American Airlines CEO Doug Parker and President Robert Isom have sent a letter to employees saying that some executives will be offered buyouts to leave the company, and some positions at and above the director level will be eliminated. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. You know that freedom you enjoy. This is about one of the men that kept it safe for you. Major James Blair White went missing in Southeast Asia on November 24, 1969. He was finally laid to rest at West Point alongside of his mother, father, and brother, June 19, 2018. His wife, Sharon Cook, and daughter, Catherine White, were in attendance. Catherine was less than a year old when her father went missing. According to the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency, White, a 357th Tactical Fighter Squadron fighter pilot, was in a flight attacking enemy troops when weather conditions deteriorated, and contact with him was lost after his first pass. When wreckage was sighted 4 days later, a ground team searched the area and found small pieces of wreckage, but no remains were recovered. He was not accounted for until recently, when scientists from DPAA and the Armed Forces Medical Examiner System used mitochondrial DNA analysis, dental and anthropological analysis, as well as circumstantial evidence to identify his remains. His brother, Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Edward H. White II, is buried nearby. He was an astronaut killed January 27, 1967, while rehearsing on the launch pad for the upcoming Apollo 1 launch. After these messages, B-1B fleet resumes flight operations.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Welcome back. Air Force Global Strike Command resumed B-1B flight operations this week, following the directed safety stand-down June 7th. The stand-down allowed the command time to thoroughly evaluate the egress components and determine potential risk before returning to flight. We have high confidence that the fleet's egress systems are capable and the fleet is ready to return to normal flight operations, said Major General Thomas Boussier, 8th Air Force Commander, responsible for the Air Force Bomber Force. General Robin Rand, Air Force Global Strike Command Commander, previously ordered a safety stand-down of the B-1B fleet after a safety investigation showed an issue with egress system components. The investigation is still ongoing. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, alternating with Airborne Unmanned on Tuesday and the AMA Drone Report each Thursday. Additional breaking news bulletins may be posted for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Have a great weekend and see you Monday.